All praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. And this is going to be a video on something I noticed anyway, and it's that excuse me, it's that the more that the prophecies are starting to take place, right, the more that women are starting to become irrelevant and like a side thought of people's minds, man. And since this whole CK situation went on and everything that's took place because of it, right? The videos that brothers have been making, elders, apostles, anyone's been making in regard to women are in a way fewer number, man, because there's way more other things that are way more important to speak about, right? And what this shows is that when it really goes down, man, like when this society really, truly crashes, right? Women are gonna find themselves like in a destitute state, man, and they're not prepared for it. Right now, still in the world, women are like a big deal thing, and that's what people base all their thoughts off. But in terms of the people that are waiting for prophecies of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai to take place, more and more things are taking place. That's not even anything that's getting mentioned, man. Like after this CK situation, I ain't really seen no videos being made about anything to do with women. Neither did I make any, right? And that's why I'm making this video now to point out that thing that I saw, that no one was really speaking about anything to do with the women, about Eve and none of that, because they didn't really care, right? She's not really that important, man. We're the important ones, man. We're the people that are gonna do things that's gonna cause for the kingdom of heaven to happen. It's not the women of our nation. It's not the women of any nation that ultimately really cause for the kingdom to be made. They either assist or they hinder their men from building up their kingdom, but they actually the founders and at the forefront of it. But let's go to this Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 25. Thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war, because the war is getting ready to take place, and this has happened already in the past. It's going to happen again. Her gate shall lament, and her gate shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. And that's what's getting ready to happen, man. A lot of you women are going to get ready to feel real insignificant real soon, right? There's not going to be men chasing you around to pay your bills as if it shouldn't be the other way around, right? Women want men to pay for their whole lifestyle, even though they might financially have the money to pay for it themselves. They want to, now that they work, they want to go out and get the kind of lifestyle that they can have for themselves and try and prove that they could get it for themselves. But then when they get with another man, when they get with a man, they want him to pay for it all, and now they want to quit their job. They don't want to be like, okay, we'll put both of our money together and build a greater life with each other. They'll be like, no, I already proved I could get this lifestyle for myself, and now I don't want to have to continually have to work to provide that lifestyle for myself. I want you to have to pay for it because I don't need you. I don't need you to pay for it, even though I'm going to be with my hand out wanting you to pay for it because I proved I could pay for it myself because I had this job before I knew you. But now that I'm with you, you have to pay for it and I'm quitting. Or if I don't quit anyway, now all the money that I used to have and used to have to pay to spend and take care of myself, now that's my free disposable income for me to pay for even newer things that I want to pay for myself, because all the things that I used to pay for, all my necessities and all my luxuries that I used to pay for, now that's your responsibility and you have to pay for them. And now me as a woman, I'm going to take on some new luxuries that I never used to be able to afford before because I had to worry about paying for my old necessities, but now you're paying for those. And my old luxuries, but now you're paying for those as well. I want you to pay for those as well. So now I'm going to find some new luxury things that I want to buy. I wasn't ever able to buy some designer clothes that would cost this much before, but now that you're paying for everything in my lifestyle, now I can afford these things, and you better not ever look to me for no money, and you better pay for everything. That's what women in this society think. And that's why they're becoming insignificant, Nobody don't really, like, they're not really, besides a man wanting to sleep with most of these women in this world, there wouldn't really be too much need for any of the men to talk to them, man. Not really. And you women would find out real quick if this society did not force men to have to pay for your life once they don't want to, once they don't longer want to be with you no more, and if they got a divorce. If men did not get absolutely rinsed financially for getting divorced in this world, it would be the men initiating the divorces, man. If the men didn't get absolutely rinsed and drained of their pockets by divorcing a woman in this world, right? They would be kicking some of y'all to the curb so fast, it would be unbelievable. And that's why y'all are becoming insignificant, because men are like, well, if that's what's going to happen if I do marry this woman, I may as well build myself up to financially to where women find me attractive, use that money as a net to trap them, but they're never getting any. And if a woman that he starts trying to ask me too much questions where I can tell that she's pocket watching, I'm not with that. That's what men are starting to realize. I'm not with that. I can show the money, or I can pretend like I've got some money if I don't actually have any, get what I want from her, and bounce. And that's why you men are still, no matter how much you claim to have this and that, you're crying and complaining, right? You're complaining that men don't come up to you for this or for that, right? You're all on TikTok complaining and ranting and raving, but why don't you go up to the men that you like then? And in that way, you're never gonna have to worry about a man that you don't find attractive being all up in your face like that, because the men that you go up to, right, you still won't be able to avoid the men that you don't like wanting to talk to you, but you'll be able to also physically the men that you actually find attractive, you'll be able to go up to them and speak to them, but y'all don't want to do that, and y'all are starting to become insignificant. And as more and more prophecy starts to take place, as the financial system starts to really deteriorate, women are going to become more and more insignificant, and people ain't going to speak about women no more. They ain't going to really care. They ain't going to think that a woman's anything too special or too deep, right? Because there's going to be such an abundance of women available that are going to be completely humbled. The criteria to be a woman that gets a man is going to have to go up, right? The kind of woman that ends up being around a man in that time is going to be a woman that's more closer to meeting Proverbs 31 than is not close to meeting Proverbs 31. So if there's a woman that meets absolutely zero categories of what a woman from Proverbs 31 meets, she's not getting a man. If there's a woman that meets one category of that, she's got more chance of getting a man in that time than a woman that meets zero. If there's a woman that meets 10 of those categories that I've written in Proverbs 31, well, she's got more of a chance than the women that meet only one or two or nine, right? And there might be a man that says, in his mind, that's of the elected nation of Israel, he might say, if a woman don't meet 15 of these categories, she ain't stepping around me. She better move. So even that woman that thinks that she's something special, oh, I meet 14 categories of this Proverbs 31. I'm humble. I'm a nice woman. I still look good. My ass is fat. I got this. My body jiggles the right places. A man might still say to her, move, man, get out of my face. And what's she gonna be able to tell him? She gonna force him to look after her and be her husband? No. She ain't gonna be able to do that. Because this world was a society that forced men to have to take care of a woman that he's not even with no more. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous when you really think about it. A woman leaves a man that she doesn't want to be with no more because there's another man out there that she wants to sleep with and wants to be in his bed at night and wants to be in his house at night, right? And wants to be cooking him meals now, right? And having children for him. But the other man, the previous man, is now expected to pay for her to be able to do that, so that she don't have to worry too much about the financials of it, because he's paying for it and taking care of everything. Like, you know how absolutely ridiculous that is, and how much of a, like, how angry that could make somebody feel. And that's why women are becoming insignificant in this world. And I noticed that when all this stuff that's been going on, people ain't really been talking about women because they're insignificant. And it just made me think, when this society really falls, women are going to be insignificant, man. Like, when it comes to having to forage food and people are like running around looting and all of these stuff, stealing food out the stores, right? Everyone's thinking about their belly first. A woman don't mean nothing in that time, man. A woman, when a man's hungry, the last thing that he's thinking about is a woman with a big booty. That ain't nothing, man. When a man gets hungry and his belly and he can play his ribs like a xylophone, he ain't thinking about women in that time. That's the last of a man's thoughts, man. Women are something that's when the world's peaceful and that they become something significant. When the world's in chaos, men become the most relevant thing in that time. Isaiah chapter 4 and verse 1, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take our approach. It's not going to be men going up to women saying, baby, I'm going to take care of all your bills, baby. Baby, whatever bills you want. In fact, oh, you're hungry, baby? I'm going to run out there and fight about 10,000 men in order to bring you back the last can of beans from the store, from Asda's or Aldi or Lidl or Tesco or Asda or Sainsbury's or Morrison's or the corner store or the cafe. That was abandoned. I'm going to go into that cafe and get you that last bit, babes. That last tin of beans is yours, babes, as long as I've got anything to say about it. That's not going to be happening, right? That is not what men are going to be doing. It's going to be women saying, I'm prepared to take care of anything that's necessary for me to keep my own self alive. The only thing I want from you is for you to take me on as your woman. That's what they're going to be saying. Now, we understand that women right now are still arrogant. They're trying to put up that facade and they're thinking that they wouldn't do that. Okay, you're not going to be one of the women that are going to do it. You're going to be the other group of women that meet Micah chapter 7 and verse 10. You're going to be the women that get cast away, right? You ain't going to be the women that end up falling into this position because you're not worthy to be a wife of one of the elected of the nation of Israel. You're not worthy to, right? Saying we'll eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Now, some of you women right now, I can sense the pride that you still have, where you still think that you can try and finesse this position, and you're trying to think you're fulfilling Isaiah 4 and 1 by saying to a man, okay, I'm prepared to go 50-50 on all of my bills now. And part of the reason why you're saying you're prepared to go 50-50 on their bills right now is because you can't go 100-0. Because you can't go 100-0, now all of a sudden you want to try and think 50-50 is a good idea, right? 1 second.